Hello, welcome back to Fleet Signal. My name is Alex and today I'm going to unbox the Aquan Prime vs Directorate 2-player starter set for Firestorm Taskforce. So let's dive in. Okay, so if you don't already know what Firestorm Taskforce is, basically it's a fast-playing version of Firestorm Armada. And I say that, but at the same time it's also its own game as well. It has different rules, and not too different from Armada, but some of the rules are different, and some of the stats are used in different ways as well. But basically the idea is that you can start your adventures in the Firestorm universe with Firestorm Taskforce, and then later on you can use the same ships in Firestorm Armada. You just have to download the stats from the Spartan Games website and go ahead and use these in Armada. So this is the 2-player starter set, well, one of 3 2-player starter sets for Firestorm Taskforce. So let's have a look at what's inside this box. So box design, kind of similar to Firestorm Armada. It says Firestorm Taskforce, shows you what you get, includes 16 models, a rulebook, dice, scenery and tokens. Top of the box, bottom of the box, kind of looks like that. It's the usual sleeve, and on the back it just shows you, gives you some blurb there and shows you some of the paper that you get inside. So let's open this up and take a look. Okay, so the seal has been broken, and as usual you are confronted with bags of stuff, as always when you open a Firestorm product from Spartan Games. So a lot of bags here, some paper stuff as well, and the usual code up there on the box. If something is wrong with your box, email Spartan and they will sort you out because they have amazing customer service. Okay, let me sort out these bags and then we'll have a look at some of these models. Okay, so first up, I think this might be a bag of light frigates. And sure enough, it is a bag of light frigates. So in here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha! Right, this points me to well, I'll say a problem, an issue with Taskforce. Basically, originally these boxes were going to have 5 frigates in them, each starter box. We're going to have 5 frigates for each faction. And Spartan decided to put 6 frigates in the box instead, because apparently it makes the game play better or something like that. But some of these boxes don't have 6 frigates, they only have 5 of each frigate. So basically you have to get in touch with Spartan and say, I'm missing a frigate, for each faction or for whichever faction you're missing them for, and please can I have my extra frigate for each side. So there are only 5 frigates in my box for each side, but that's okay. I'll get in touch with Spartan about that and I can still show you what they look like. So let's zoom in. Okay, so this is an impact class light frigate for the Directorate. Nice one-piece model, crazy amounts of detail, especially given how small the model is. It's all a one-piece model. Looks really nice. You might notice I said light frigate. These are different from normal frigates. It's a new class of frigate called the light frigate. And this is a Nerade class frigate for the Aquans. Cool little detail on the bottom there. Some really subtle detail right there on the top. It's not completely smooth. There's a little bit of detail there. And this design actually kind of harks back to earlier Aquan models with like the fin and everything, so it's a nice little throwback for people who have been playing Firestorm and playing Aquans for some time. Okay, let's have a look at the mediums. Okay, so let's open this bag and see what's inside. Okay, this looks like the Aquan Ladon class cruiser and the Carstens class escort carrier. Now, this is one of the big things that has been talked about with Firestorm Taskforce, is the modularity of the modules of the ships. So, basically the idea is that to start with, you get the base, which goes this way around, I think. Let's move this out of the way. And then you've got these little, you might notice these little holes here. Get on shot. These are for magnets. So if you want to magnetize your ships, then there are holes that have already been provided for 2mm wide by 1mm deep magnets, I think is the right size. And then the idea is that, see, you've got the holes on the other side there as well. You can simply, boom, magnetize your ships, and that, I'm not really sure if I've put this together properly, but that is a Ladon class cruiser. Never mind a little bit of flash here. On the other side. So it's kind of hard to get a good idea, but that's basically what it is. And I should mention, these pieces are super light as well. These are really light pieces of resin. Okay, so if you want to then say, well, you know, I like the Ladon, but I prefer to play, you know, an escort carrier today, you simply take this piece and put it on top like this. Whoops. It's kind of hard to do this without actually having the ships being magnetized. There we go. And then it will turn into an escort carrier. It's better to look at the the artwork on the front of the box, or have a look at the pictures online to see what the ship would actually look like. But yeah, that's the basic idea. And then like one day if you say, well, you know, I want to play a Ladon instead, you know, simply take that off, boom, it's a Ladon. So that's the modularity of the Aquan ships. And the Directorate have got a similar kind of modularity to them as well. So let's take these out. So yeah, it's a similar story with the Directorate. First of all, you have the Champion class cruiser, which looks like this. Really nice detail on this model. And then one day if you say, well, you know, I don't want to just play a cruiser, I want to play an escort carrier, then you can turn this into the Ascendancy class escort carrier, which by putting this piece on top gives you the escort carrier. And again, it's better to have a look at the artwork to see what this actually should look like, but that's kind of the rough idea. And again, you see you've got like pre-drilled holes here for the magnets, so you can put magnets in, or you can simply glue it. You don't get too many of these mediums in this box. You don't get like full squadrons of the mediums because this is meant to be a starter, and you can also get reinforcement boxes which do give you full squadrons of these ships, although you probably end up with 2 light frigate squadrons. But you know, tier 3s are always a good idea in Firestorm. They enable, you know, more powerful fleets and things like that. So that's the Directorate ship. And again, of course, if you want to play a normal cruiser, simply take that off and bam, you've got yourself a champion cruiser. Okay, so also because this is a starter set, you get yourself some dice. Always nice to get more dice, you know, from wherever. There are also some SRS tokens, which are the same as the normal Directorate and Aquan SRS tokens, and some micro dice to put into the tokens, and these bits on here that basically go into the bottom of, I think, the Directorate ships. Yep, the Directorate ships, just to for flight pegs. And also I should mention, on the bottom of the Directorate ship, the place where those flight peg drop-ons go is actually magnetized as well. So if you want to magnetize that, you can do. Taskforce is all about modularity. There are also some flight pegs and stands in here and bases as well. You might notice the way that this has been done. I think what you do is you snap these off, and they give you the smaller flight pegs for the frigates. And there are also these as well. So you get the normal size base. Focus, that's normal size base for Firestorm Armada, Firestorm Taskforce now as well, and there's also these size bases as well, which are for the frigates, which actually the frigates look a lot better when they're on these bases. And as you can see, the size comparison there, it's roughly about a quarter of the size of, just over, I think, just a little bit over a quarter of the size of a normal base. So yeah, hopefully these will be available for purchase in the future, so those of us with Firestorm Armada fleets can put all our frigates onto these bases. Okay, moving on to the cardboard, we have some stat sheets. So here we've got the Aquan stats with some Mars down on the side, And on the back we have Directorate stats as well, with Mars on the side. What else? And also we have this bag of stuff, of paper. Well, not just paper, actually. There's more than just paper in here, and card. Put that to one side. Okay, we have these, which are templates. This is a turning template. In Firestorm Taskforce, ships turn kind of like in Halo Fleet battles. Large ships can turn once during their movement, and small ships can turn twice during their movement. So it's a bit like Halo Fleet battles. And so this is a movement template. It's nice, it's nice and big, pretty chunky. You know, it's a good size. So, yep, you get 2 of these, 1 for each player, because this is a 2-player set. What else? We get some asteroid scenery sheets. So you've got 2D terrain, you know, straight away to go. And nothing wrong with 2D terrain in a space game. We've also got some tokens. This doesn't look to have as many tokens as Firestorm Armada does. Firestorm has something like 20, 25 tokens in the game. You don't use all of them during the game, but it's a lot of tokens. Whereas this only has like 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, I'd say about 8 tokens at most. Have to have a look, but yep, token sheet. And of course, the rule book. And I am going to do a separate video about the rules. To go more into depth about what the rules are like, you know, how fleets are built, blah 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 blah. But yep, you get a rule booklet as well. Okay, so that was the contents of the Aquan versus Directorate starter set for Firestorm Taskforce. As I said earlier, this is meant to be, Taskforce is meant to be a fast-playing version of Firestorm Armada. The idea is that while Firestorm Armada games are, you know, notorious for taking 2 to 3 hours to complete, a game of Taskforce, in theory, can be knocked out in about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe an hour with full-on fleets. This starter set, you know, should give you a game of like what, about 30, 45 minutes. So yeah, it's meant to be a faster playing version of Armada, and I can't wait to get it to the table to try it out and see what Taskforce plays like. Okay, so as always, be sure to subscribe and to share this video with anyone who you think might like it, and leave a comment to, you know, let me know, what do you think of Taskforce, what do you think of the models? You know, do you plan to get into Firestorm via Taskforce if you don't already play? You know, let me know. And also, as usual, you will find Fleet Signal on social media in the usual places, Book of Faces, Twitter, and so on. Okay, that's all for now. Until next time, see ya!